The Athletic is the must-have service for sports fans. With in-depth, ad-free coverage of every sports story that matters, it's the gift you want yourself and the perfect present for the sports fan in your life. This holiday season, spread the joy of better sports coverage. Give an annual subscription to The Athletic and get one free. Now is the time to take advantage of getting your subscription and giving one free to see for yourself the creativity, reporting, and storytelling that sets The Athletic apart. And if you go to theathletic.com/birdswithfriends, you can receive 2 all-access subscriptions for just the price of 1. What a deal. Get unrivaled sports coverage for an unbeatable price. So go to theathletic.com/birdswithfriends. Receive 2 all-access subscriptions for just the price of 1. We hope to see you there. And if you are like Marissa, scrambling to get your presents at the last minute, The Athletic might be able to hook you up.
Bird to your mother, it's time for another episode of Birds with Friends. Just a trio of feathery brethren weathering any season to see the Eagles eating teams like Scrammy's top with cheese. It's Philadelphia, Bo, Sheila, and Zach kicking it cooler than 3 penguins till Zach runs off with his valet keys. He's a real nuanced goose. Pull up a branch, get loose. It's time for some juice on some
Birds with Friends.
The early bird gets the worm, but prefers getting turned like a turn on some
Birds with Friends.
Bo, Sheila, and Zach coming at you with stats and things flapping their wings on
Birds with Friends.
All I know is Zach said he has a game where he'll don't read both 7,000 and I said, I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it.
And so the purpose
that's what I needed was not to get at least one more reader. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Birds with Friends. As you get a bit of a throwback there to Sheil needing a reason not to read one of my articles, and maybe he doesn't need one. Everybody's here. Marissa, Sheil, Zach, Sheil rocking a very handsome new Brewers hat. And it's making us all a little bit jealous. I think it's fair to say. Sheil, how are you?
Courtesy of DFA, Ben Harris. I mean, what a guy. He hears me talk on here about how I would love a Brewers hat. He says, I work for the Brewers, I'll hook you up. So now I have to hook him back up. And if Ben Harris's neighbor, who apparently is the loyal listener from last time, if that person is listening, hello to you. Feel free to send us stuff. I will say, if you're any, like local business or company and, want to send along stuff for me to wear during these YouTube pods, I am more than happy to do that.
Yes, they like to say on the Doughboys that the Doughboys can't be bought. Birds with Friends can definitely be bought. We'll take
and
whatever.
Happy Hanukkah to all our listeners.
That's my favorite logo in sports. I
great logo.
I applaud the Brewers for bringing it back this year.
And
I
applaud Ben Harris for sending Marissa, Zach, and me something now. Fair to say?
Take it easy. Listen.
Can I give you my Ben Harris take that I had been meaning to unload before that I never got to?
Sure, top of the show. Great.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Like voter ID, right? It was such a big deal in this election. So ID,
where's he going?
You take out and you see all these signs everywhere you go. Biden Harris. You take out ID. Ben Harris. Everywhere you go, everywhere I go now, I just see Ben Harris.
There are
Ben Harris.
There are X
That's
amount
what
of people.
Says. It's the one line Biden, the next line Harris. You take out the ID, Ben Harris.
Yeah, I'm following that, but I'm saying there are X amount of people who are on the clock for work right now, tuning in live on YouTube, and they are being treated to nuggets such as that.
I promise you that everybody who is on the clock tuning in is happy for this to take as long as possible. They're looking for the nonsensical distraction. Don't you think it's fair to say?
I think, you built up that story, and I will say it lived up to the expectations I had for it.
Thank you. Okay, well, we've got plenty to get to. I guess so. There's some news that Zach will share with us. We'll talk about the latest with this Eagles team, an all-time CTC performance from an Eagles legend. We will get to Swooper Sorecasting. Make sure those of you in the live YouTube chat drop your suggestions for Marissa. And then we will get our Crystal Ball Diga predictions for Sunday's game, the matchup of the 2 most dynamic running quarterbacks in NFL history, Jalen Hurts and Taysom Hill. Zach, let's send it over. What's the latest? And will you, in fact, be calling plays on Sunday?
Jason Peters is out for the season. Doug Peterson made that announcement Friday morning after a few weeks of this toe injury continuing for the Eagles. Right guard, previously left tackle, future Hall of Fame player, but amid an inconsistent season for the Eagles, that season now ends abruptly. Jason Peters will undergo surgery. Nate Herbig will start at right guard, and the Eagles will start their 12th different offensive line combination in 13 games. Of course, the question remains, is this the end of the road for Jason Peters? It's a Hall of Fame career, like we said. The Eagles appeared ready to move on last offseason. Brandon Brooks' injury opened the possibility for him to come back at right guard. Andre Dillard's injury opened the left tackle spot for him, so it was the same as it's been in previous years. But this injury and the way he's played this season might mean the end. That being said, I've covered this team since 2012. The obituaries on his career were already being written then. We are in 2020, so until Jason Peters says it, I won't necessarily believe it. And John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia tweeted out that Jason Peters wants to play another year. So we will see what happens with Jason Peters. In other news, Doug Peterson will be the play caller in Sunday's game. He confirmed that today. So there were questions last week, obviously, and in previous weeks about how that responsibility will be split up. Doug will call the plays, and it's particularly noteworthy this week because one would assume that the Eagles will adjust their offense with rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts.
Though he did offer up the job to somebody.
He mentioned I asked him about the calling plays. He asked if I wanted to do it. I said I'd be happy to, but I don't think you want me to.
I like it.
And he said, "Well, you guys think it's so easy." I was going to see.
It was good natured.
I was going to shoot back that. I mean, you scored 12 points in the first half of the first 4 games, so I clearly don't think it's easy, right? But,
that would have been great.
I don't think that's the time or the place for that, as Doug Peterson.
Well, that would have been funny because this was like the happiest we've had Doug in a press conference in months, and that would have very quickly turned.
If it was,
oh my gosh, that would have been so funny.
If it was one of those conversations we were on the side, I would have responded that way. But certainly something that's being broadcasted live and. I don't think that's the time or the place. And also it's on a time crunch. A lot of people have questions. So I try to avoid the back and forth as much as I can in those settings, but it's always nice when Doug shows a human side. I agree with that. The last piece of news that I just think is worth mentioning here. It's not major news for this game, but Rodney McLeod is the Eagles nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. That came out yesterday, and I just mentioned that because Rodney McLeod is someone who has done quite a bit in the Philadelphia community this year, both during the pandemic and in voter outreach efforts. So that's a piece of news that's worth mentioning in the news update.
But a fellow big brother like yourself.
Yes.
And you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, you said
great
like
organization.
You should have said and myself.
Yeah, great. Or I've already stumped for free stuff. So on a note to actually help people, listen, if you're looking for like a New Year's resolution, something to do in 2021, we highly recommend the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Now it's a little tougher now. You can't. I don't know if they're accepting new people because you cannot meet with the little brothers, little sisters, but certainly, the application process does take some time. So maybe you get it started January 2nd, and then in a few months, maybe a little bit longer, when people are vaccinated, hopefully, then you can jump into it.
I do have to say the hagiography of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, it's a little much. Like they talked about on the broadcast last night, like this is the most prestigious award in all of sports. Unbelievable. It's a very nice nod to someone doing something well, but it's something they totally made up. It's not a thing of their own creation.
Yeah. But it's
not like the Nobel Prize we're talking about here.
No, but I do think during these last 9 months or so, Rodney McLeod has done
absolutely.
quite a bit. So
no doubt about it.
Yeah, I thought it was worth 30 seconds in the news update, especially when we allocate time to Biden Harris.
I didn't say it wasn't worth saying.
Zach is coming. Zach morning. Zach is feeling good. I like this. That would have been a great comeback to Doug if you were like, well, based on your results, it's really cannot be that easy. But that's fine. I mean, that is among, I like the good natured aspect of it too, but it's like, dude, what's he getting paid? 5-6 mil a year?
He's not getting paid that much, is he?
No, he's not. I thought he was.
I think he got a good bump after the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah,
I got that new deal.
Because I think the highest paid coaches are around 9, I believe. I want to say
that's higher than I thought, actually.
Yeah, Carroll, Belichick.
Yes,
coaches' salaries aren't as readily available either. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that was the reports, but it's like, listen, for 6 mil, I'll take a shot at having the 30th ranked offense in the NFL. Sure. I'll call Coach. I'll call Coach
pay me
Flynn.
a fifth of that.
I mean, I've already detailed, my offense. You give me a little mesh, give me a little zone read, give me a little four verts, give me a little sluggo seam. And, everything else, Jeff Stoutland, Deuce, they're doing the run game anyway. I mean, really, is there that much to do?
Chuck it and pray, baby.
I could get there. I could get 30th, I think. No, I mean, I would say I would have a better chance at getting 30th in DVOA than Bo would at throwing a touchdown.
That's definitely
I would
true.
agree with that.
That's definitely true.
Hey, no risk it, no biscuit. That's what Bruce Arians says, right? And so I would also go for 2-point conversion.
Also, I feel like there's a good chance that there would just be a mutiny and they'd start calling their own plays anyway, in which case they might get to 29th. Yeah.
I'm all about empowering the players. Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing. I'll be over here telling you to go for it on 4th down. I don't need to do anything else.
Well, speaking of empowering the players, how do we feel about if this is in fact the end of the Jason Peters era, an all-time performance, empowering himself to keep getting paid, baby? What a legend.
Absolutely right.
For this year, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I think it's pretty easy to say that like this year will probably quickly fade from memory. When you think about Jason Peters.
You can't really blame, like Jason Peters wanted to play. It's every athlete's right to decide when they hang him up, and you hang him up when someone is not willing to pay for you. I mean, the issue is the Eagles just having no new ideas and saying, bring me everybody who's been in this building before. And
except Malcolm Jenkins.
Except
Malcolm Jenkins, yes.
Except the guy who's the captain and the leader on the number one ranked defense
for the one guy.
Yeah.
Get rid of him a year early than a year late, right? Everyone else a year late.
I hope Swooper Forecasting is just all Malcolm Jenkins questions today. But so that's his right. I mean, Jason Peters has not been good. You can certainly take issue with his demands to be paid more to play left tackle. I would say, like you said, a CTC All-Pro right there. If you can get more money from your employer, get more money from your employer. That would be my advice to, I don't talk to as many college kids as Zebram does, but when they're like, all right, give us one last piece of advice, that's usually my piece of advice is when you get offered a job, ask for more money. That's when you got the leverage. So that's all Jason Peters is doing. And so good for him. I think Bo is right. No one's going to really remember how this thing ended. 10 years from now, you'll have Bo's favorite photo of Jason Peters with the cigar and the Lombardi trophy. And I don't even know how many starts he's had under his belt, willing to fight the entire Washington football team that one game. I mean, so he's, his teammates always
148 starts with the Eagles,
148 starts. So, there will be many more fond memories. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if 6 months from now he rethinks that thought to play more, but I guess you can't really put it past him at this point.
The Eagles cannot bring him back.
They cannot. Although we've been having this conversation. This conversation is older than this podcast at this point.
But they can't.
I just wrote on the Athletic that in 2013 the Eagles drafted Lane Johnson, and the thought then was that this is the replacement. Lane Johnson's now 30 years old and has signed 2 contract extensions since then. But no, when Bo asked us that question, and I was thinking, was this the most likely outcome of the season though for Jason Peters, right? That he would. Yes. Be inconsistent, that he would be injured, that he would that he would miss games, that the season would eventually end. Like this was, if you were allocating turkeys when they signed Jason Peters. This is the one you would have allocated the most turkeys on. So it's like,
if anything, it's like it's a very minor surprise he even got to play in 8 games.
Yeah. So this has happened exactly as we expected. Like, you can say it's unfortunate, and certainly it is. I imagine Jason Peters has been in a lot of pain these recent weeks. It's hard enough to play in the NFL. It's harder when you have an injury, probably even harder when you're 38 years old and have an injury. Even harder when you're playing in a new position and have an injury. So I recognize all that. But I will say this is not particularly surprising outcome.
I'm sure we did do a turkeys to the kingdom at some point with that, Zach. I mean, I obviously have no recollection of it, but if there's an enterprising listener, you can tell us if we've done that before or not.
And so that means that, as you said, Zach, we've got nasty Nate Herbig back from the abyss, playing right guard. And we asked him about that this morning. And what did he have to say? Not really very much.
He's just wanting to do the best he can for this team. There was a great exchange. Les Bowen asked him about the finger injury, and he's like, I don't know, I'm not a doctor. And Les is like, well, it is your finger.
Your hand.
It's your hand, yeah. So
big flex.
Oh man, we could have used some audio of that. That sounds amazing.
We've had a couple good Les moments in the Zooms lately. Yesterday we got an all-time classic Les eye roll when somebody asked Jordan Mailata why he calls Jalen Hurts Deuce, and Les is just like, it's just so good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Nate Herbig, it's not about him. It's just about the team. He's not trying to prove that he should be the right guard going forward. He just wants to help beat the Saints on Sunday. The advice he received from Jeff Stoutland is just that he wasn't playing well, or he has a lot he needs to work on, right? Something of that nature.
Say, yeah.
Yeah. So
he said he wasn't good. He said he wasn't good enough.
Yeah, he wasn't good enough. Exactly.
He's like, I'm not. He was like, I asked what did he tell you to work on? He's like, just being better. I'm not good at anything.
Yeah. And yeah, so Nate Herbig will be in there, and the Eagles will have. I find this pretty interesting. They will have 3 starters on the offensive line on Sunday, age 23 or younger, right? So this is an offensive line.
So what's the starting offensive line Sunday?
It'll be Jordan Mailata at left tackle, Isaac Seumalo at right guard. Isaac's 27. Left guard. Isaac Seumalo is 27, so 4 27 and under. Jason Kelsey at center, Nate Herbig at right guard, and Jack Driscoll at right tackle.
Jason Kelsey, I meant to bring this up during the last podcast. Again, was an animal last week. I mean, I don't know if he wants to keep playing or not, but I know, Bo, you wrote about this, like, what was it, like 4 or 5, 6 weeks ago? But it continues to be true that they are, you don't expect these performances from the 30 plus guys, and they're just completely wasting it. I mean, he had some blocks.
Thanks for reading.
You're welcome. No, I mean, somebody tweeted it.
You saw the headline.
I just saw the headline. Yeah. This was there were some blocks in space in that game where he looked like he was 10 years younger. And, he's been healthy for every game, right? He hasn't missed a start. I think he came out the one time when he was MFing on the sideline. But other than that, he has been fine. So I don't know, because there were some questions about the way he sort of went after all right. He spoke very honestly about the coaching staff and organization. It's like, this is not going to be a Super Bowl contender next year. It could be a playoff contender, but do you want to come back for that type of season if you're Jason Kelsey? And if not, I feel like we've got to be first in line to get him with the Athletic or with Birds with Friends before other media vultures try to get after him.
Well, yeah, I also don't want to I don't want to be the guy who's reaching out to Jason Kelsey the day after he retires, like, come on our podcast. Like, let him have some time, You got to respect the man's.
Okay, I'll be that guy.
You could do it.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are not.
Been nice.
They're not really in a position to he's the one guy who they should hope comes back. But we'll see what happens, I guess. Anything else on the news front, Zach? Anything we heard yesterday or since we last spoke that was worth bringing up? I guess not. You gave the rundown you thought we needed. Why should I ask if there's anything else?
Not in
What a rude
particular.
thing for me
I
to
mean,
do.
I can offer you injury updates. Darius Slay and Alshon Jeffery. I believe Jeffrey was full yesterday in practice. Here, let me pull up the report. So his injury does not appear. Hold on.
How about Larry Holder, who covers the Saints for The Athletic, just coming in over the top with an Eagles Saints cheat sheet today when we've got ours coming tomorrow. What a big time flex move out of him.
Oh, I didn't see that. Wow.
Yeah, he's got his own. The Saints apparently have their own cheat sheet. So
well, what? He's supposed to wait for you guys to write
no,
yours?
it's funny. It's funny. I saw it come across my feed, cheat sheet. I was like, did I write this in my sleep? What happened here? So,
that's like Rube's 10 things.
Big time
I'm the one who's allowed to use cheat sheet. So Fletcher Cox and Alshon Jeffery were both full participants in practice yesterday. So if Alshon doesn't play or if Alshon snaps are reduced, they can't necessarily say it's injury related. Now limited in practice was Derek Barnett and Darius Slay. Barnett appeared with a pelvis injury. Slay has a knee injury. So certainly pay attention to Darius. But I would say
you think he follows Michael Thomas this week?
Thomas plays a lot in the slot. So, but they did talk about the fact that he could move inside. I don't know.
They also don't like him.
So.
They don't have a lot of corners, I guess. But
yeah. But do you want?
I would say yes. I would say yes. Yeah.
You probably don't want Roby Coleman on him.
Who else are you going to put? I mean, really. One of your 5'9" nickels. You're going to put on Michael Thomas.
They got a positionless defense. It does it. They're all the same. They're all equal.
Which I know we're not on these Saints yet, but they've actually, I think you could make the argument of teams that have successfully built the positionless secondary. Sure. They are probably like near the top of the list.
Yeah, so it's funny. I mean, I don't mean to belabor the Malcolm Jenkins point, but you talk about the positionless thing. When Jim Schwartz was gushing about him this week, he said he played 7 positions for us. So it's like, get rid of the guy who plays 7 positions for you.
Right. Yeah. Well, you want guys who play no positions.
Yeah. We forgot to talk about Malcolm Jenkins in our 7-hour podcast last week. I would like to get into the Malcolm Jenkins discussion unless there's anything else noteworthy to talk about.
No. The one other piece of news I would say, because we did mention Alshon. Doug was asked today about playing different receivers, and the person who asked the question mentioned it was Mike K of NJ.com mentioned that Jalen Hurts is on the scout team and has chemistry perhaps with the scout team receivers. And the name that Doug Peterson mentioned was Quez Watkins. Said Jalen Hurts and Quez Watkins get a lot of work together. So you wonder if maybe Quez Watkins is up this week.
It would be very Eagles if Quez Watkins plays on Sunday and has like 150 yards receiving, and he's been buried on the practice squad or on the inactive list the entire season.
What was it, like a month ago? I was calling out that Quez Watkins had a great route that one of the few times this year I actually had to rewind and be like, oh, who is this guy? Is this Rager? Oh no, it's Quez Watkins. Wow, that was pretty. I mean, of course the ball didn't go his way, and it was one of like 3 snaps he probably played in that game. But maybe give him a shot. I have a question for you. 160, and this might be, I don't know. All right, I'll just say there's 162 wide receivers who have run at least 50 routes this year. Alshon Jeffery is among them. Where do you think he ranks in yards per route run?
You said 162?
162, yes.
162. I would say 161.
I think it's a little bit better than that. I'm going to say for game theory, I'm going to say 160, but I actually think it's more like 152.
When game theory bites you in the backside, it's 162.
Ooh.
Really?
Oh, he's dead last.
Z-Berm's just on fire. What a performance. How many minutes in are we?
That's funny.
Yeah, he's last.
I guess it's because of the 50, because I've seen some guys, I think Arthega-Whiteside would be lower, right? But
yeah, I mean, Arthega-Whiteside is one. Yeah, I had to get it to that Alshon was included because he's only run 60 routes. 60 routes.
2 catches.
2 catches for 15 yards. Let me see where he is in terms of yards per reception here at 7.5.
What about where does he rank in?
He bumps up to 158. He bumps up to 158 if you do yards per reception.
Now, where does he rank in old man flails per route run?
Well, I was thinking this actually. So I wanted to, if I was an enterprising reporter, which I am not, I would add in all the OPIs and DPIs, because then what would he be? Because he cost them with his OPI last week. So he's 2 for 15, and it's worse than that because he had an offensive pass interference penalty. Like literally the worst you can play at the least productive you can be at wide receiver.
And his playing time is only going up.
I was thinking about this with Alshon. You know, I recognize that he's been like the butt of jokes. And
what is this take gonna be?
It's really it's really bad out there. But
it's really like, bad out there. like it's raining knives outside.
Like Alshon could have just milked the injury, right? You know, he could have milked the injury. He could be sitting out practices. Like he's at least showing up, right? We've seen players. Well, we've seen players in the past. I don't think Alshon. No, okay.
No. He could, because he needs to find a team after this season if he wants to keep playing. So do you really think Alshon out there and play? Like, I don't think he's going to retire.
I'll ask you this: who has a better chance of playing in the NFL next year, Alshon or Jason Peters?
Oh my God! Wow, I would say Alshon.
Yeah, I think Alshon.
Okay.
People still talk about him nationally like he exists. So,
but at that position, like if you can't run anymore. You know, like
but then what are the Eagles doing putting him on the field?
Well, he's on. I agree. I mean, we agree on that. But like, it doesn't look like he can run right now.
Well, it's because he can't run right now.
Yeah. So,
do you think Howie will be able to dupe a national reporter into January 18th? Alshon really showed some signs end of the season. He's available via trade. If teams are, this ongoing saga.
The Eagles are hoping to unload.
It's going to be out there. I can promise you.
He's available. Like they're not calling teams. If a team called, they would listen.
They would listen. They would listen to.
They would llisten. They would listen.
Yeah.
Not trying to get rid of him, but they would listen.
No.
That's my favorite. Why do you even do that? Honestly, like what? Oh my. Just let it go.
I think you only do it if it's like a non-obvious situation, right? You know, like if you have if you have a star and it's
but then you don't want to be the one to put it out there.
Well,
I mean, the second you put out there that you would listen, like there goes your leverage.
Has anyone ever believed that the team's not shopping player X, but they will listen? No, it's the same thing.
Like Quinnen Williams.
I
think there is a difference. I think there is a difference between shopping and like you could blow us away with it. But everybody's available for the right.
Yeah, everybody's available.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was the way you said that was very Seinfeldian. It's all right. Very Jerry.
It's like I don't know if it. Well, I was gonna say like I don't know if the Raptors were shopping DeMar DeRozan per se, but when Kawhi Leonard's on the table,
I think they were more.
But they were probably shopping.
What do you think the Alshon Jeffery?
You're right.
NBA,
they were probably shopping.
What's the Alshon Jeffery NBA comp at this point of his career? Is there somebody with an albatross of a contract?
Well, John Wall, but I think John Wall has much more left in him than Alshon does. But like, if you told me John Wall's contract was going to be able to be moved, I probably would have been skeptical. But then it was moved for Russell Westbrook's contract. So
that's funny because that's really the only way you could ever compare Alshon Jeffery and John Wall is the way you just did. I mean,
I think they're similar in that they are both they both have very skinny limbs.
Okay.
I would say no. It has to be someone older who's just zapped of all their ability right now. Like John Wall can be a productive player. I mean, nobody wants that contract, but you're not going to you're not going to watch John Wall play next year.
Udonis Haslem.
Like, what the hell is this guy doing on the court right now?
Yeah. I mean, it has to be someone who's really getting paid. I can look into that and get us for the next show.
Okay. Some
Marissa,
comments here.
Big mug flex again, right?
Yeah, there were questions about
everybody. The chatters love the mug.
I know.
Chatters
I saw a comment that says "show the mug" or I'm leaving.
All right, that's a good flex.
But wait, I do have another update. Ben Harris loved the intro to the show. Messaged him on Twitter, and he said, "Incredible, you guys are all unreal."
There you go.
Ben Harris. No update on our hats, but
you guys. I mean, listen. You got to ask. You find another listener who has free stuff and get him. You can't be showing up with Brewers gear. Like me. That would be cramping my style, as they say. All right. Let's see some of the questions. People had wanted to know if I was drinking out of a canoe today.
That's pretty funny.
And I do have a question. What do you guys do to clean your water bottles? I like this water bottle, but it's like every couple days, the little odor coming out of this. And then I even bought those little tablets you throw in there, which have to be the biggest ripoff. But, I get duped easily with Instagram ads. And so you throw a tablet in there, you leave it in there for 30 minutes, supposed to clean it. Sometimes it works. I do a little soap and water, but it's not like my past water bottles. Rarely do you have to really, get after them for cleaning. This one, a little bit of odor comes in every few days.
I don't know what's with your odor. I mean, I just put it in the dishwasher.
Not dishwasher safe.
I know it says that, but it's fine. You put it in the dishwasher.
Is that true?
You give it a little rinse when it's done.
You think I could put this in the dishwasher?
Yes.
That is big. Everyone's making comments about my mug. That is a canoe.
Who wants to be refilling their water all day long? You got to go for the big size. All right.
I think that'll go in the dishwasher. It's fine.
Listeners, let me know if this water bottle will be ruined if I throw it in the dishwasher. Anyone else have comments? No? Okay.
I have a moa culpa actually on the smoothie front. My wife was correctly correcting me that I was talking as if I'm the one who's making the smoothies when 90% of the time she's the one making the smoothies.
So tried to take
she's
credit
right
for her smoothie making.
She's
That's
right.
very inappropriate.
I mean, we're on the same page in terms of what goes into the smoothie. Sometimes I put a little bit more almond butter than she would, but that's, it's true. She was right.
You can't. Why can't you be the smoothie maker? I mean, this is like
sometimes.
literally one of the only things I can make. Sometimes it should be every time.
I don't like cleaning the blender. I don't like cleaning the blender.
I don't
think
like
it's
that.
got to be
That's
like
hard.
split.
That's why
Like,
that's why it's nice to have that little guy, the little magic bullet.
Oh, I thought you were having Casey clean that blender. I'm like, damn, you have Casey cleaning the blender? That's unbelievable. Good parenting out of you. Lawrence says, Brewers said I should have, and this is a missed opportunity. I missed the opportunity to wear the Astros hat like Jalen Hurts. You can't really support the Astros, although the old school Houston logo, I think, is pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't want to be on the side of cheating and
no, you can't do that.
Yelling at female reporters defending domestic abusers.
Yeah, I think I can fairly say I would agree with that. I do not want to be on that side. Mike says, who's campaigning harder, Shield to get free stuff or Louis Riddick to take Howie Roseman's job? That's a good comment there.
Good one. I don't think that will happen, but
yeah, I don't think so. Ryan wants to know, don't care about the Eagles, give us the banter. So I think that's directed towards you, Zach. No one, sometimes you got to just let it rip. Irvin says he's not a company owner, but with Irvin, I like that name.
Magic.
I think we talked about that before. Yeah.
Is it Irvin with an
Well, this
EA
is
or
IRVIN.
I like that.
Any expecting parents in the chat? Think about that. Oh, outstanding. Big Irv. I like that. Not a company owner, but would like the opportunity to pay Shield to wear a custom t-shirt. Going to need cost estimates here. Listen, I will wear it as long as it's nothing offensive. I am a large, and you got to get the premium. Don't be, all due respect, don't be coming here with that Gildan stuff. All right. I need, when you get to this age in your late 30s, you got to have the soft. It's all about the softness and the fit of the tee over anything else.
Now, sometimes I will say the soft tee does not fit so well.
Yeah, like a big pasta meal or something. It's a
little clingy.
Give me some room. Yeah, I could see that. But we're all at home all day,
That's
anyway.
true.
So it's
I mean,
okay.
we're
It's still
basically
comfortable.
Chest up.
Yeah. Well, for now.
Depends on what they pay for. Yeah.
I was gonna say at some point we'll be in the locker room again in the
maybe I don't know about that.
Press box. Yeah.
Aaron, how do you feel about this? Aaron says Daniel Jeremiah for GM, Brian Daboll for head coach.
I feel like the Daboll thing happens if Howie is more likely to happen if Howie stays because of the Bob Lamont connection. I also think that if you think about what the Eagles would be looking for in a general manager, and like what part of the reason that it is hard to imagine them totally firing Howie is because I don't think that they're going to have someone just come in to run personnel and then there's nobody sort of running the organization above them. Which is why there's the possibility for what Sheila's talked about, the Howie promotion demotion, where he's theoretically overseeing the entire football operations. And then maybe they bring in a Jeremiah underneath him to be the final decision maker on all things personnel or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This setup would be like one of the few I could think of where you would keep Howie in the organization,
Right.
but he already has a existing relationship with a Jeremiah, and maybe Jeremiah handles all the personnel. I don't know if he would want that. I mean, he's got another job offer, so maybe he could get a little more juice somewhere else without
Go back and
Howie.
check Shields' piece on Daniel last year. Very good piece.
Yeah, without I don't think he would hook me up though. If he got the Eagles job, I don't think I'd be able to become the.
He's got plenty of other people to hook up.
Yeah. I mean, he's working for NFL Network, but well, that's an interesting thought there. Let's see. Michael
There was a good piece yesterday by Dan Hatman, who used to work in the scouting department for the Eagles, about like the good general manager search process. Very good guy, which I thought was interesting, and identified some candidates. And it's true. Like we've talked about this. Sheila and I have talked about this for a long time, where like the people who are running NFL teams are not necessarily the best and the brightest, and like their candidate pool is always very narrow of like people they already know or like who's got an agent, and it's definitely not the best way to go about finding the best candidates.
I mean, I think that if the Eagles did that arrangement where Howie stays and they put someone in there who is above Andy Weidel, essentially, then I don't think I think it's someone who has a little more kind of gravitas or status and can work with Howie. I don't think it's someone on a comparable career track to Andy or what Joe Douglas was. I mean, I could see someone, I'm like throwing names out here, but like Rick Smith, who's been a GM before, who has
Bo can't stand him for some.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think there's a problem where I'm actually thinking he's someone else, but he didn't do a great job, right?
But he get them Watson, JJ Watt.
Yeah, he did,
okay.
and he has
DeAndre,
a close relationship with Howie. He's I believe he's another Lamont guy. But I bring him up because like you're doing it in such a way that you're saying if you're using the comp of like a baseball front office, then it's like Andrew Friedman and Josh Burns, or people who have this GM experience kind of all working together. But
I would continue to say that a guy like that would be an ideal.
Sure.
I mean, really, you could
if you don't have
go somewhere and be Howie. Like,
GM,
why do you want to go here and work for Howie when you could go somewhere else and just sort of be?
Well, that's a fair question.
Guy. I mean, maybe not.
Yeah.
How many opportunities there are and
Exactly.
all that. Maybe you're right. Maybe they get along great. I don't know. I don't know if he's a great GM or not. It's just always funny. His name gets brought up and Bo like crushes him. And I'm like, he definitely wasn't like one of the worst GMs in the league.
I will say he is not qualified to be a decision maker for what a league should do in a pandemic. And that was what I initially bristled at. He's on that committee with Charlie Casserly and Bill Polian.
Your mind works in very bizarre.
I wasn't like mentioning him.
It's true. Like,
I was mentioning.
What do we do to really make sure the players are protected? I know. Let's call Charlie Casserly.
How does that reflect on Rick Smith?
He's in the same committee.
So what? Maybe he's given great ideas. He doesn't have this track record of being a doofus.
So my point about Rick Smith though is similar to what the Eagles did it a few years ago with Phil Savage. I think it would be a former GM, someone who comes in with that type of status, because otherwise.
And I think that's a half measure. I don't think that's an acceptable. Yeah. No, I think it's a possibility, but I think the only acceptable way to sell keeping Howie and bringing someone else in is if they are like, you can truly believe that they are going to have final personnel say. And Howie is like overseeing the structure of the organization, which again, that probably isn't going to last either, but
sure. Yeah.
Zach, did you have something else before Bo interrupted you there?
No. But we were going to talk about Malcolm Jenkins. I know she wanted.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let me finish out these comments from the listeners. Okay. Chad says life advice for Birds with Friends. Sheil, make money at a job. Zia Berm, buy Amazon stock. Bo, do not value your employment at all. Have an idea and let it rip. And Marissa, drink soup.
I just found that one.
DFOP Tracer, hopefully you got your Pastaficio's gift card. He says to Bo, respect his space. What kind of reporter are you? You ask him while he's on the podium before the tears are dry. Yeah, he's got a point. That's not your job to respect his space. You got to do what's best for the podcast. Debatable.
No, I mean, you can't be the one saying that.
Mo says, I'm 30 minutes behind on the live feed, but man, we could have started a fund for Z-Berm to mention that to Doug about the 12 points in the first half. It would have been historic. That's true. I think we could have, I know there was no way to go back and raise money for that, but I do think we could have raised a lot of money for charity to get Zach to fire back with that.
See, the thing you have to be cognizant of is like these press conferences, particularly this year when they're on Zoom, but like they're broadcasted out. You never want to be in a situation where like you become, like where people are talking about the question and not the answer. So it's always one of those things. We've had backs and forths, sometimes funny when it's off the podium. But when they're up there, you don't want to be one of those guys who's trying to get talked about for his question. Or for his
I don't think anyone would confuse you for that. You okay. And Doug have been in good graces. You've been to like 700 of his press conferences for a long stretch. The first question, so I think you would have been okay for a little back and forth there. All right, last one was Kyle says we need one 7 a.m. pod to really see Z-Berm in his element firing on all cylinders.
You should host that one. I feel like.
Yeah, I would be in on that.
I
like a nice morning pod.
I was thinking the other day when you asked Bo the questions about the Peck Nest migrate about the jobs, and he was dismissive of a morning show job because he doesn't like the morning. I imagine it's difficult. Like it's got to be really difficult getting up at 4 a.m., 3:45. The flip side of that is your day or your professional obligations are finished usually around like 11 noon. So you have so much time to be with your kids, to watch stuff going on. It's kind of the opposite of, like that.
That's true. I think my biggest
appealing to me.
My biggest problem with it is that I am not capable of going to bed early.
Yeah.
So I could get up early if I needed to, but I'm not able to go to bed at you need to be going to bed at 8 o'clock or something like that. And I can't do that.
Well,
when I worked for Major League Baseball, I did the 5 a.m. to noon shift.
Ooh, big flex.
In the city. So I had to leave my house at 3:45 in the morning.
Ooh.
And I loved being home at 1 o'clock. It was awesome. But if you don't go to bed by 8 and then you miss everything at night, you can't watch any
baseball.
big games. Yeah. You can't do anything because if you're not in bed by 8, you have to be up,
Right.
So there were nights that I didn't go to bed until midnight. And then I'm like, oh crap, I have 3 hours of sleep. So
the move is, and this is a, preemptive flex here. When I did the one, if you're West Coast time in Seattle doing a morning show, fantastic. Shout out to 710 ESPN Seattle. That was one of my favorite things I've done in my career was doing that show once a week because West Coast, all the sports are finished early on. You get early bedtime. You drive it.
It works.
You're starting your day with so much juice. I mean, you got to be on and going right away. So you kind of just have to force it. You get this jolt of energy. Oh, I found it very enjoyable. You're the first people to comment on all the all the happenings of the night before.
I really like West Coast time. I was thinking today, I saw in Tom Brady's press conference, he said, for the life of me, you couldn't get me to live in the Northeast again. He
was he asked about the $1 million he took from the administration for his business?
I don't know if he was asked about that though.
Oh, okay.
I was perhaps he was, but I don't know. But
he was really hurting financially, compared to the rest of the country.
My point being is that there are
Walter Penn Man of the Year candidate, I'm sure.
Yeah, there are advantages in different regions. West Coast time in Seattle. If you're living in Florida, Texas, California, the weather, things like that. So anyways, that's an aside.
All right, I was going to
Big day
do an
for-
ad
big
read,
day
but I
for-
better wait till we get to some Eagles thing. I don't know.
Big
that,
day for Eagles fans. I heard a source in Nashville told me that Taylor Swift dropped a reference to being an Eagles fan, her wearing an Eagles shirt or having an Eagles shirt in her new album.
My sister texted me about that.
Big day.
Yeah,
We
I didn't
could've
know
played
if
the clip.
Please, no. I don't want to mess with Taylor Swift copyright.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
well,
probably
Good point. Yeah.
Well said.
that would be the actual thing that would get us all fired.
And now, was it a
We
reference
play an
to?
8-second clip of a Taylor Swift
I'd
song,
be happy to
and we're all
get fired
homeless.
for that. I'm in for that.
And so, was it a reference to the
Taylor Swift,
Philadelphia
though.
Eagles? Was it a reference to the Philadelphia Eagles or the band the Eagles?
That's what my wife asked. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it's the Philadelphia Eagles.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Well,
I haven't listened yet. I'll listen this weekend. And
Yeah, let us know. Yeah.
I don't know if Taylor Swift has ever had any magic spoon, but if we had her as a guest on the pod, I would certainly suggest that she try some. This episode, of course, is brought to you by Magic Spoon. I've told you about it. We ate it at home. We did a taste test with the kids. I like the fruity flavor the best because, you're a kid, you're eating all the sugary cereal, which, don't get me wrong, it's delicious, but you get older, you get old like me, you can't be eating that stuff anymore. The carbs, the sugar, the unhealthy food. Well, that's where Magic Spoon comes in. You can still have delicious cereal, but 0 sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. So many of you have asked, and now you can finally build your very own custom variety box. I love this. Every company really needs to do this. You got to have the custom variety box. You can't just be giving people flavors that they don't like. You can choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted, blueberry flavors, plus brand new peanut butter and cinnamon. It tastes amazing. Honestly, too good to be true. It's keto friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low carb, and GMO free. Here's what you do. Go to magicspoon.com/birds. Build your own custom variety box and try it today. Some of you have tweeted at me that you have tried this out. More of you, I expect to see those in the weeks ahead. Here's
Moving merch.
Promo code BIRDS at checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money. No questions asked. That's magicspoon.com/birds and use the code BIRDS for free shipping. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast.
Well, Shield, DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is wishing you the happiest of holidays. I will say the grammar in this copy is a little bit imperfect. They go hyphen after DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, but then there's no close of the M dash, so it's a little imperfect. And then we've got kickoff hyphenated when I'm supposed to say and to kick off the season of giving. That should be 2 words.
You're really kicking it to the to the person who wrote
good
the
job.
answer.
Way to go with this.
They're advertising.
It's gonna be good. We'll copy edit it. We've got a copy editing desk. DraftKings has new promotions and odd boosts every day this week. Luckily for us sports fans, there is an abundance of action taking place this week. Football teams are in the hunt to secure their place in the playoffs, hyphenated, while college basketball season is just getting underway. There is no better place to get in on all the action. If you haven't tried DraftKings Sportsbook yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. And, not for nothing, check out Shield's picks. See if you can hop on that train with 4 weeks to go, that late sugar train. Plus, DraftKings is giving all new users the chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when signing up using promo code TOSS to celebrate this weekend's UFC 256. DraftKings is giving all MMA fans who sign up now the chance to triple their winnings when placing any bet on UFC 256. Zach, who do you got in the big UFC card this week?
What are my options?
UFNC.
I don't know. I could talk about other games, but I'm not a UFC guy.
You got to watch out for that cauliflower ear, when it comes to MMA. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code TOSS when you sign up and get up to $1,000. That's code TOSS to get a deposit bonus up to $1,000 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Flubbed it at the end. Not quite at Zach's level.
That's not
all
true.
right. Sheila, what did you want to say about Malcolm Jenkins?
I mean, it wasn't really necessarily what I wanted to say. Zach, why don't you fill us in on his comments earlier this week? I wasn't there for the availability, but read and watched it and thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, I watched it back as well. I will pull up one of the quotes here. He was, I mean, first off, he was talking about how he lives here during the off season. He loves Philadelphia. Philadelphia and him were once synonymous. But here, this was the quote that jumped out to me. I gave everything I had to the city, to the team, did everything the coaches asked me to do, did everything to make the players around me better, try to put my best football out there, and it just wasn't valued that much by those who made the decisions. For me, it was just more of a principle about respect. I really don't care what the money was, but I wanted to see what the respect factor was, and it wasn't valued what I thought. And so decisions are made, and I ended up at a place that values what I bring. And this is the conversation, by the way, that we had at the end of last season. It's the conversation we had in March when they let him go. This wasn't a matter of Malcolm Jenkins trying to be the highest paid safety in the NFL, because his contract with the Saints indicated it wasn't necessarily about that. But I do think he wanted to be shown more respect from the Eagles. And based on the way the Eagles played that situation, I just think they determined that they didn't want Malcolm Jenkins back this year.
Yeah, I mean, combining, like you said, combining what Jenkins said with what Jim Schwartz said earlier in the week, it sure seemed like Jenkins' wrath was directed towards the front office more than anyone. And you're right. Like, you can make the case certainly that getting rid of Jenkins was the fine move. You want to get younger, all those different types of things, but it just doesn't align with the rest of the moves that the franchise made.
Right, this is the one guy who
if you're doing that with everybody, fine, go ahead. You got to do it. The Eagles did it in a previous era, but this is the guy they drew the line on. It was really just guaranteeing one more year of salary. And I think his play this year has certainly been, I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched every game on film, but it certainly seems like it's matched his play last year. There has not been a drop-off in that Saints defense. He's been a captain, a leader for them. He has not been injured. Once again, he's been one of the most durable players in the NFL. He's one of the greatest leaders that I would say any Philadelphia team has seen since we've been alive. And some of the things you've seen with the team this year, certainly you could benefit from having that. I just have that picture in my head at the end of that Dolphins game of him just slamming his helmet on the field. I mean, an ultra competitive guy, a great leader who really did help all those other DBs he was working with, a guy who didn't mince words with, if you needed a spokesman on something, he was going to tell you what he thought, all these different types of things. Somebody, and Zach, I know this is one of your favorite nuggets, but how about his practice? Yep. Him as a practice player. I mean, I joke sometimes that we overdo this, but when you have a guy like that who's setting the tone at practice, I think that does matter, who's playing special teams, all these different types of things. And then you look at the other moves they made on defense and how has that affected the defense compared to the potential value you would have had at a lower cost with Malcolm Jenkins. And you can certainly question that move.
And a guy who also had a role there for him as he declined physically.
Correct.
You all of a sudden move him a little bit closer to the box. Guess what? That also balances out, paying nothing to your linebackers if he's going to be your box linebacker in big nickel situations. So it's not like a deep safety losing a step where all of a sudden there's nothing he can do for you. There was a role for him. And yeah, I mean, I think I said at the time, the move in a vacuum is fine because, what's valuable is someone who can cover the deep middle of the field. Maybe he doesn't deserve to get paid quite that much for what his skill set is right now, but for him to be the only one you draw the line on, and then you're bringing back all these other old players, it obviously doesn't really mesh.
Yeah, two things to add there. First, I think Sheil hit it on the head when he was talking about Schwartz's comments. I don't want to play psychoanalyst with a psychoanalyst or psychopsychologist. You can't be a psychopsychologist. You can only be a psychologist, right? I don't want to play psychoanalyst or a psychologist.
You can be a psycho anything.
Yeah, when it comes to what Schwartz was saying. But Schwartz could have answered that question being I have a lot of respect for Malcolm Jenkins. He's no longer on the Eagles. we wish him well except for Sunday. It could have been that, right? I think Jim
but he's always going to.
No, I think
talk.
Jim answered that question the way that he did to illustrate the fact that this was not a Jim Schwartz decision. That this was not. I believe that's why he did it, Bo. You're free to disagree, but I think that was him painting the line, saying, I didn't want this guy to go.
I think that's possible, but I also think it's important to know that Jim Schwartz is good at the media game, and it's like he could have done that in a calculated way to make it seem like he wanted Malcolm to stay because it hasn't worked out very well, when in fact, he was fine with Malcolm going. It's possible. I think the most likely scenario is what you're saying, but I don't think it's like 100% just because he gave a really good answer.
Well, I think Jim's aware of this narrative that's out there that he's the one making the decisions on the defensive personnel.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's what you said that he wants to kind of try to distance himself from it retroactively. But I do think there was intent with that answer beyond just the compliment, which was that he's the smartest player I've ever coached, and he did so much for this defense. The other thing, and we talked about his leadership, and I'll tell you, his leadership style wasn't necessarily for everybody, right? Like it might have grated on some guys in that locker room, but
like an Orlando Scandrick.
But I think that, and maybe it's just because like that's a personality type that I might respond to. When you're talking, like I think it's good to have someone who is hyper competitive, who is hyper aware, who is gonna keep working hard. You don't necessarily need that to have that laid back type leader. And I think there was a void when he left the locker room, and that's not to belittle Roddy McLeod, who I think is also has leadership ability and has tried to step up. But I just think Malcolm had such a presence in there, and when things are going bad, I think that's a good type of guy to have.
Remember, there was the narrative about how part of the reason was because they wanted to hand the team over to Carson.
Exactly.
Which I'm not saying that was not what they were thinking, but geez, talk about, reading the room incorrectly for the 400th time.
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. True. We're way late into this. Let's Super Sportcast, whatever it is.
Well, we need to preview the Saints. Is there anything you want to?
Oh yeah. Curl that enemy.
Can't wait for the game.
The Saints are good. I'll throw it to you, Sheil. What is impressive about their defense? Second in DVOA, second in pass DVOA, second in run DVOA. Very consistent.
Yeah, I would say what's most impressive is they're 8-0 against the spread without Drew Brees over the last 2 years. I mean, that's incredible. So you got Taysom Hill, we presume, on offense. I would say he's been okay. The one thing he will do is I think people were praising him for his play last week. I thought he had like four balls that could have been intercepted in that game. And so he will turn the ball over. I think, I don't know I don't have the stats in front of me. I did no research on the Saints for this, so it's based on what I've seen every week, but he fumbles a lot. You can say that. He is a very good runner. They have the QB inclusive run game. He will scramble. It's not, I guess, totally unlike what we might see with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. They've, of course, got Alvin Kamara. They've got Michael Thomas. They've got Emmanuel Sanders, Traquan Smith, Jared Cook. They've got a very good offensive line. So, they haven't been the best offense, obviously, with Taysom Hill, but they've kind of done enough. I feel like when he has time and knows where to go with the football in the short and intermediate part of the field, he's been pretty accurate. So that's their offense. And defensively, I think they had a stretch of 42 drives without allowing a touchdown, which is incredible. Like I kept looking at that going like, this should be getting even more play right now. So they've got guys up front. They've got Cameron Jordan. Trey Hendrickson is an interesting free agent. I don't know if he leads the league in sacks or is among the top 3 or whatever it is, but he's been putting up big numbers. Bo, do you know?
I tried to get the Eagles to trade for him last year.
Well, there you go. So they have Trey Hendrickson, David Onyemata, Sheldon Rankins. They kind of throw all these different guys there. Demario Davis at linebacker. They traded for Quan Alexander. So those are their two linebackers in nickel. Those are both cover 3 down guys. And again, they have a very versatile secondary with Marcus Williams, PJ Williams, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. These are all guys that can play nickel or either safety spot. I think I had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in my Eagles only mock. Was that 2 years ago? He seemed like a guy that could fit. I would say I didn't have this in my sort. Did you guys have a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in your sort?
No,
I did
all
not.
right, then I'll say it now. I feel like he is like one of the biggest pests in the league. I mean, there was a 2-week stretch where Michael Thomas got suspended for punching him in practice. Not that I guess that should necessarily reflect poorly on Gardner-Johnson. He didn't get suspended, but a teammate punched him in practice. And then the next game,
I think it reflects a little bit poorly. Like if you're doing enough that a teammate punches you. Yeah.
Okay. And then the next week, a Bears player got thrown out for punching him during the game. I mean, that is like an epic 2-week stretch where you get 2 people, punished for punching you. And so he does like little things. I mean, I'm trying to think who the Eagles player would be, who he would sort of get
Rager.
under their skin. They would have to show a little bit of life. Rager, you think?
I think Rager.
Okay. Well, that would be fun. Yeah, I would. That's something to watch. How does Rager respond? I mean, he'll do things like put his fingers like in your helmet after a play, these crazy things that will get you so annoyed that you want to slug the guy. I don't know. He just irks everybody he plays. Like every game he's doing this stuff. It's unbelievable. And so that's something to watch. But yeah, their defense has been outstanding.
All right. Well, with that, let's get to Swooper Swordcasting. All right. Heading into week 14, 4 weeks left, presumably in the Eagles season. The scoreboard is 3 for me, 3 for Sheil, and 1/2 for Zach. 2.5 back.
Oh boy.
So he's up against it, but he had a number last week that he wanted to hit, and he did. So he will have 34 turkeys heading into today's game. Sheil had 6 left over, so he will have 30. And I, once again, spent my entire budget, so I am back at 24.
Zach, I feel like, is like the Las Vegas Raiders here. I mean, this is like must-win situation here for you in Week 14. You got to this is empty out the kitchen sink to win this one.
I was rolling last week in the third quarter. Rodgers was at 80%.
Yeah.
I had one other bet winning, and then
Elliott hadn't missed a kick yet.
Yeah, then
that was Shields actually.
That was me. I could have taken a big lead.
The rushing yards and something else, right?
It was Devontae Adams versus the Eagles combined receivers. Versus top 2 receivers.
It was very close.
I was doing I was doing great until Jalen Hurts threw some passes at the end. So that one hurt.
So if one of Sheil or me wins this week outright, I think that will eliminate Zach from being able to win.
It would. What do you mean? You think you can't do the math? We would be at 4, and his max would be 3.5.
I wasn't trying to be mean about it.
I still think I still think I should be at 1 instead of a half.
Well, we never got to the playoffs?
I felt like there was a lot of people chiming in saying it shouldn't count.
Yeah, I know.
The O-line combination. Yes, I think people were saying it shouldn't count, but
I guarantee you, if Bo had that bet, it would have counted.
No, I wouldn't. I would not argue for that one. But anyway,
so we're ending at the Eagles' end of the season. We are not carrying this into a random game, because Zach did mention at one point
we could do the playoffs
into the playoffs.
Separate game. It would have to be a separate game.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm not committing to more of this.
All right, so we did have 2 of the same submissions this week. So I did take 4 from the chat. So we'll just leave it at that, but we will not say what. Okay, everybody ready? Zach, you got your notebook?
I have my notebook right here. Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's start with Jalen Reagor has a catch of more than 50 yards.
50? Oh, my.
1, 2.
I'm not going to let you have it for 2. 3.
Anyone want a top 3?
4.
Do I hear 5?
50 yards. Jalen Hurts, he did throw that 34-yarder down the sideline to him. He does have nice touch. I'll go 5.
Ooh.
See, I'm in your head.
The pain, the look of pain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend. I mean, if I do 6, then
You got a number you want to keep this week?
I'm spending a big chunk on one. No, I'm not ready to do that just yet.
You want some of this rigor action?
No, I'm good on that one.
All right.
All right.
So Zach, if this is this is obviously it's a big week for you. Do you plan on using all your turkeys, or
No,
you can't tell us?
no, I have a number today too.
Wow.
Okay.
That was 50 or more, right, Marissa? So
Yes,
it's
Jalen
exactly
Rigor has
50.
a
I get
catch
it.
of more. It says more than.
Oh,
50
more.
yards.
Ooh, I need the 51.
51.
Guarantee he's getting a 50, exactly a 50-yarder. All right.
Okay.
All right. Jalen Hurts throws for 200 yards or more.
1,
2,
3.
4,
I'll go 5.
6.
Shield's frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, Shield's frozen.
Oh, I thought
No,
Shield
no.
just wasn't.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
my
he was
thinking
he didn't
face.
want this one.
Yeah, that was my deep in thought. Do
No,
I
you
jump
are
in?
frozen to us.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
now you're
Now
back.
you're back. It's at
My
6 right now.
Connection is unstable.
I would go 7. I will go 7.
You're going? Yeah. Okay.
I am
Yeah.
going 7.
Knowing you, we need clarification.
I will go 8.
Anyone want to top
200.
8?
I mean, it's a pretty low bar. If we get
Yeah,
some garbage time.
You got some garbage time,
here.
exactly. You have one
to
big
pad
pass,
it.
and all of a sudden, yeah.
But do I want to commit so many? I'll go 9.
9. Going once.
34 turkeys. That would bring me down to 25.
Going twice.
24.
No, I'm at 34.
Yeah, but I have 9. You'd have to go 10.
No, you're at 9. I thought you were at 8.
No, I'm at 9.
I'm not going 10. No way.
All right.
All right. So that one is to Bo for 9. So
Was that 200
200
more?
yards or more.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So Bo is down to
15.
15, and Sheil, you're down to, what was that last one? For?
25.
5. Okay. All right. The Eagles will score more than 17 points. Says more than. That's how the question is written.
Ooh.
So I'm assuming that is.
I like
so
that.
that's 18.
That's
2.
18.
3.
4.
Do I hear 5?
5.
6.
7.
Oof. 8.
How bad is this freaking team? 17 points in a game, 18 points in a game
and
in the year 2020. I'll go 9.
Do I hear 10? Going once.
I'll go 10.
Going twice.
11.
Ooh.
Okay.
12. Anyone?
I'm out.
All right. Sold to.
That's a good
Sheil
one. That's a good value.
For 11.
The Eagles have scored. It's been the last 4 games. They have not scored more than 17 points.
What? That's crazy.
17,
Oh
17,
God.
17, 16.
I mean, I've been watching them, but that's so pathetic.
Isn't that bad?
All right.
You watch these teams, the game just starts and they like go down the field and score a touchdown like last night. You're like, oh, this looks a lot different. All right.
Okay. Taysom Hill and Jalen Hurts combined for 4 or more turnovers.
Oh.
1.
1. 2.
3.
4.
5.
Remember, it says 4 or more. So you get it for 4.
6.
7.
You can have it.
Hold on. There's no you can have it yet.
Going once. Going twice. I think Shill's
He's
frozen.
frozen again.
Gosh.
I can't tell. Does he want in or not?
Oh, I don't. Can anyone hear me?
You don't? Okay. You're
Yeah,
back.
he said he doesn't.
Okay.
Okay.
All
I
right,
got
so
that then. So
What was
I'm
that
down
for 7?
for 7. I'm down to 8.
Okay.
And I have 34.
Correct.
I have 14, I believe.
Yes.
Correct.
14. Okay. Sanders drops a pass behind the line of scrimmage.
1.
So it has to be. Let's clarify. It
forward
has
pass.
to be.
It is
It
written.
has to be counted as a
Sanders
drop.
Drops a pass behind the line.
And it has
of
to be a
scrimmage.
pass. It has to be a
What-
forward pass.
What charting service are we using to confirm this? Sport
Sport
Radar.
Radar,
That's
yeah.
okay. So Sport Radar has to mark it as a drop because there is
Yeah.
subjectivity with this. All right.
2.
Subjectivity.
That's what I said.
I thought you said objectivity.
No, maybe I froze again.
Mm.
I mean, I get many wrong, but that is one.
There's
that I got
only
right.
the way that you said it is subjective. We'll never know.
All right, Zach put that one up for 2. Anyone want it up 2?
Wait, that's it? 2? Not letting you have that for 2, 3.
4.
Okay, I'll let you have it for 4.
Yeah, that's a fine one.
All right. So Zach
He's
is
down to 30.
Okay. All right. Here's a big one. Wentz is on the field for at least one play.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Is Wentz? Flex here. Like Reese was
It
asking me
says-
He's going to be the
yesterday.
backup. Yes. He's the
He
backup.
is.
Yes,
Okay.
Doug said it today. Yes.
And it says he's on the field. It does not say anything else.
Throws a pass or anything.
Yes.
1.
1, 2, 3.
3. I mean, I hate like betting on someone getting hurt. 4, I guess, but
You don't think
It's
if
only
he get-
fair. It's only fair if the Eagles insert Carson Wentz to do a zone read at one point and put Jalen Hurts out
Yeah.
wide.
wide receiver.
that there was a few of those in the chat, but I figured
Okay.
this one would be more interesting for Super Swordcasting.
You are at 4.
I'm at 4.
For you.
I'll go 5.
Sheila, you want in on this?
No, I think there's 0 chance of this happening.
Wow.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
obviously not true.
The chance is like an injury, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
running
think
around.
I don't think he's good. I don't think they're gonna trot him out there when
Yeah.
the guy's miserable
Yeah. Of
and
course not.
depressed to go line up at wide receiver or something. Oh, and you're not gonna bring him in to run. So yes, I guess you're banking on a Hurts injury.
I
Or like a helmet issue or like his shoe
Yeah.
falls
Whoa,
off.
that's-
or
That's true.
That is Marissa. That's a good one there. That is good.
Bathroom break.
Happy
Thanks,
Roddy
Marissa.
McLeod.
plenty of possibilities with this team at this
Yeah,
stage of the
try to get them to bump it up. Keep that
Right.
coming.
No, you can have it.
I have it for
Wow.
5.
That was
Okay.
I think that was a bar. I thought that one was going to go for. I put that one in the middle on purpose.
You had 5 left, but what do you?
No, I
No,
have
he
3
has-
left now. I
he
have
has
3
three
Oh,
left
you
now.
have 3 left. Okay.
Okay. Taysom Hill has a run of 30 yards or more.
1,
3.
4,
What was that?
Five.
I can't bid anymore.
5,
6,
7.
you can have it.
7.
Jill's down to 7.
Okay.
How many questions do we have left? Zach is going to get the
5
the
left.
Oh boy! So if these are good ones, Zach could really clean up here.
Okay. This is the one that we had a double of. Malcolm Jenkins has an interception, fumble, or 2 or more tackles for loss, sacks included.
3.
4,
I'm out.
5,
6,
7.
8.
Oh, it's yours. That's it.
Can't get it.
Okay.
Zach's down to 22 with 4 questions left.
Okay. Jalen Hurts has the most rushing yards of anyone on both teams?
One.
Sorry, how many left?
4 left, including this one.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have 14. Zach has 22, and Bo has 3.
2.
3.
4.
5.
6.
7.
It's yours.
I'm out.
Okay.
Zach's getting some
Okay.
good ones here. I feel.
All right.
But as I've learned in the past, that diversifying isn't always the best. It's like the best bet is the best way to go.
Well, yeah, but
So a lot of these
it is
don't
a good bet to diversify.
But a lot of these don't hit. So
Okay. Sheil makes an appearance on the post-game pod.
well, she'll can
0.
control this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Shield can do this. Shield can incentivize himself. This is
It wouldn't be worth it.
you're competitive. Your competitive spirit might compel you.
I would be able to see how the game went, and then if I needed it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it just says appearance. It doesn't say length. It doesn't say anything like that.
Nope.
Still really not worth it. Okay, I'll go 1 in case I need it. Is that going to go 2? I mean, this is
it's like box me in. If you get it, you'll
can't.
come on.
I
As
have
you
to
can
get.
guess who wrote this question.
It wasn't Sheil.
Oh, did you write this?
Of course I did.
All right.
Like
So, beautiful
strategy in this,
sabotaging
you're-
himself.
You're basically getting me to waste my turkeys.
I'm
In
just
theory.
trying to get my friend to come and hang out on the podcast.
But Sheil has it, so she. This is ridiculous.
That's all this has ever been about.
I mean, I don't want to waste my turkeys.
So let him have it.
You got to let me have it for
If I
1.
let-
You have no choice.
Yeah.
If you go for 2, then I'm not showing
Right.
up.
Exactly. So
You
that's
gotta
what I'm
let him have
saying. So do I spend? No. This is.
Oh, so
this
you're
is
saying
weird.
you want to
Do I
spend
spend
just to
2
stop
turkeys
him?
to ensure you don't win one?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
I'm,
That's,
what if I,
you have
what
the
if I go
turkeys to
3?
spend.
What if I go 3?
I will go 2 here.
Okay,
That's
you
good.
can-
That's good game theory. I like that.
Do I? Is it worth it for the insurance of knowing I could get one here? Well, this is a good one. That's a little game. This does add a lot of game theory.
I felt good about this one.
I have 7 left, so I would be betting 3, and I would be. It's a guarantee if I win this one that I get it. There's something with it, and again, there's no time limit. I mean, I could show up, yell at y'all for 5 minutes, and then sign off and watch Bill Steelers, and I would be fine.
Yeah, that's. I was looking up the Sunday night game. I mean,
Great
Shields
game of the week.
Yeah, that's big. That's a big responsibility for Shield too. So
Okay, I'll go 3. I mean, yeah, you can guarantee a victory in this game, you got to do it. Is Zach going to keep going? I like how Bo did this to get at me, but it seems like Zach is the one.
I mean,
who's most-
it's an affront to my sensibilities. So I will not bid 4 turkeys on something I don't believe is worth 4
All
turkeys.
right.
All right.
But
Okay.
now I have to pay attention to the nonsense swooper forecasting during the game to know how I'm doing.
Yeah,
Oh,
Marissa, you
true.
cannot tell
Okay,
Sheil.
fine.
You can't update Sheil with
Well,
this.
wait,
this
do I
That wasn't
send-
part of the clause. You're not
But I
privy to
always
mine
send you
Marissa's
guys-
Slack messages.
You do,
I
yeah.
always send.
You'll know what they
everything.
are because she
Yeah,
sends us
okay.
what they are. But
Okay.
she can't be like you won 2 things this week. That's up. You have to actually do the work.
Yeah,
yourself to know.
last
Marissa, you're
one
your
I
own
told
person, okay? Bo can't tell you what you can. You're allowed to do what you want to do.
Okay, we have 2 left. Quarterbacks will rush for more yards than all other players combined.
1,
3.
4.
I can't. No, neither of us can bid. It's yours.
How many does Sheil have left?
He has 4 left.
All right. Okay.
So a Hertz leading rusher one. If Hertz is the leading
Yeah.
rusher, then I think I can hit on 2 here. I have a good stack.
It's true.
Okay.
You're rooting for hard for a big Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts run.
And Zach has 11 left, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
Just the last one?
this is the
Yeah.
last one.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts completes a pass that is the player's longest reception of the season?
3.
4.
It's yours.
Mal.
Great. Above my number as well.
All right. So I have 3. Jalen Hurts will throw for 200 yards or more. The quarterbacks will combine for at least 4 turnovers, and Carson Wentz will take a snap. And I have 3 turkeys to bring back with me next week.
First time.
I think it's the very first time. Jalen Reagor has a catch of 51 yards or more. The Eagles score at least 18 points. Taysom Hill has a run of 30 plus, and Shield makes an appearance on the postgame pod. That's actually a pretty good lineup of.
I don't know. I feel like Rager's going to have a catch of 50. The Eagles are going to score 17, and Taysom Hill's going to have a 29-yarder. Yeah. I don't like these. I feel like I got hit with some weird numbers.
Was the Taysom Hill run, was it 30 or more, or was it over?
Has a run of 30 yards or more.
Okay. So that one. Okay. Yeah, 30. Okay.
And then Zach has 5. He has Miles Sanders has a drop behind the line of scrimmage. Malcolm Jenkins has an interception, a fumble recovery. Well, it just said, was it fumble recovery or forced fumble?
It says Malcolm Jenkins has an interception, fumble, or 2 or more tackles for loss, sacks included.
What do
we involved in both ends?
No, fumble. No fumble recovery.
Forced fumble.
Yeah, fumble recovery is Bobo. You're jumping on a ball. Give me a break.
Unless I'll give it to him if it's a fumble recovery for a touchdown. He gets that.
You don't get the cheat. No, what are you talking about? That's not in the question.
But it just says fumble. We have to determine.
You wrote this question, right?
Oh, I think so.
Wait.
So
you
what
just
did I
wrote
write?
fumble? Because what if he has an interception, or what if he picks up the ball and then fumbles?
I thought I said forced fumble, but I very well could be wrong.
I would imagine the nature of the question.
Marissa's right. Yeah. Okay. No. So I think it has to be forced or recovery because I did not specify. It doesn't have to be a touchdown. I just wrote fumble. He's involved in a fumble. Yeah.
Okay.
Like that bet.
Yeah, that's a good one. Jalen Hurts is the leading rusher on either team in the game, and the quarterbacks are the leading or have more rushing yards than all other players combined. And Jalen Hurts has a pass that is the receiver's longest reception of the season. That's a pretty good spread.
Who's the player that Malcolm Jenkins annihilates and then stands over them and tells them they're terrible until
there was a chat suggestion of that. Yes.
Because I think Hurts is
like the middle finger to the sideline.
Yeah. No, I think he looks up to the bottom. Yes. Here we can get if he gives it to Schwartz, then we know the answer. If he gives it to Howie, then we know the answer. But I feel like either I could see Hurts in space.
Hurts is a good one.
Jenkins just plants him because Jenkins has no relationship to Hurts.
Yeah.
And Reagor would be the other one because he has no relationship to Rager. So he's definitely going to totally crush.
I figured that one might be hard. Guys. It might be the camera would not.
Well, so a little something here. In yesterday's interviews, Bo asked Miles Sanders. I'll let you take it from here, Bo.
Oh, I just asked him, no, you can take it. But
I was setting you up. I was setting you up.
I just asked him, one-on-one, man-to-man, how do you feel about that matchup, you against Malcolm Jenkins? And he did not take it as a nice question going up against my old friend Malcolm. He says, I like me in that matchup.
Oh God.
And so Michael Jordan, and I took that personally, right? Malcolm Jenkins sees that on Twitter. He follows Bo Wolf's account, sees that on Twitter, and
he does.
I don't know. I was just
I thought I was interesting.
We did have 2 funny honorable mention ones that I just have to read from Jamie O'Neill. They were the same. Both he submitted both of them. Number of Taylor Swift album sales versus dead money on Carson Wentz contract, and number of fluid ounces in Shield's bottle versus Miles Sanders rush yards.
Yeah.
So I thought those were pretty good.
I don't know. I got 25 ounces. All right.
Well, Zach, it's a Friday. Headed towards the weekend. Maybe people have some plans.
I see what you mean here.
Yeah, I was wondering where he was going with this.
Well, let's take a step back here for a second. It can be awkward or embarrassing to talk about erectile dysfunction. Usually we brush it off or blame ourselves. But Roman is here to get you the advice you want and the help you need with no shame. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. A healthcare professional will work with you for the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, Roman will ship you real medicine with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward. It's simple. It's discreet. Getting started is simple too. Just go to getroman.com/BWF and complete an online visit. Erectile dysfunction used to be tough to talk about, but now there's Roman. Complete an online visit today to connect with a doctor and take care of it. Just go to getroman.com/BWF to get $15 off your first order of ED treatment, a free online visit, and free 2-day shipping. That's getroman.com/BWF for $15 off your first order of ED treatment. Getroman.com/BWF.
Some good questions on the chat as to whether Roman can help the Eagles offense. Zach, and also as somebody made a good point, if you need to be rooting heavily for a Quez Watkins activation, because if he makes one catch, that's a season-long catch.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Or maybe they throw a screen to Jordan Howard.
I thought about that too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if he had a catch with the Dolphins. That's possible.
That's possible too. You're right.
All right, let's get to the crystal bald eagle. Last I checked, it was like a 7.5 point spread.
I think I got 6.5 in my column, so that's good.
Okay. Well, maybe that's how you're getting such a good record. You're just jumping on those good spreads.
All right, Randy. Calm down, Randy. All right. I think I can go first here. As I mentioned, the Saints are 8-0 without Drew Brees over the last 2 years. They've just sort of cobbled it together with some good play calls on offense, a very good defense. Sometimes they get some special teams. And so I think it could be kind of close. You know, the Eagles went down there in that playoff game and they played the Saints tough that year. And so maybe they know how to, I don't know, it's a totally different offense. That's probably a terrible point. But anyway, maybe they can be a little frisky. Maybe Jalen Hurts is running around a little bit. Maybe he hits on some deep passes. Maybe it's a little high variance, but they hit on some of those. I could definitely see them forcing multiple Taysom Hill turnovers. And so that could shift the game. So I don't think they're going to get like totally blown out in this game. But I do think that the Saints are going to cover. I've got Saints 24, Eagles 16 in this game. So I guess they cover regardless of either of those two.
You couldn't even give him 18 points in your own predictions.
Well, I'm already on the record with this. So yes, I would have gone 26-18 if I were updating it for this podcast.
So I will jump in here. I'm fascinated by this game. Absolutely fascinated for the reason that I mentioned on the last show, because I think that the next 4 games, assuming Jalen Hurts is in the lineup, these next 4 games will show whether Carson Wentz was the biggest problem with this offense, or if Carson Wentz was a symptom of what's ailing the offense. If Jalen Hurts goes out there and things don't look different or better, then I think it reflects a little better on Carson. It shows that everything else is so messed up here that it's bringing Carson down. But if this offense does get the spark that Doug Peterson says, I think that reflects poorly on Carson. The thing that jumped out to me a bit when I was looking at this game, and I credit Paul Domowitch of the Philadelphia Inquirer for asking this question to Doug Peterson, and then I looked at it further, I should say, is that the Saints really haven't seen a quarterback like Hurts yet. There are 8 quarterbacks in the NFL who have at least 300 rushing yards, and the Saints haven't played any of them. One of them plays on the Saints, Taysom Hill, so they see him in practice. But the other guys they don't see. So I think the big variable in this game is Jalen Hurts' legs. And if he can make big plays, he can make things happen that way. So I think there's
a chance Kendall Hinton.
No Kendall Hinton.
The Saints did play.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Can't forever.
I think that's kind of the Eagles' best chance. And then can they overwhelm Taysom Hill? That being said, the Eagles' offensive line against the Saints' defensive front, I think, is a big problem in this game. I have very little confidence in this Eagles' offense. I really like the way the Saints are playing on defense. I'm picking the Saints to win and the Saints to cover. I was going to say 24-17, but that is too close to Shields' pick. But no, can I still go with it? Was Shield win 24-16?
Do what you think.
Be your own person.
Yeah.
That's what you thought? That's what you thought?
Yeah, so I'm going to go 24-17 on this one.
All right, before we get to Bo, Marissa, I need 2 numbers from you. I forgot to give out the Pastificios gift cards. Don't make them too high because that will take me a longer time to count. But other than that, go with it. I'd say between 1 and I think 60, maybe. We've gotten a lot of
60.
reviewers.
No, just kidding. Let's go with 13. I don't have a reason behind that.
2,
Just
3,
popped in my
4,
head.
5, 6, 7.
Because that's the
8.
combined amount of turkeys that Zach and I have left over for next week.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, here we go. I actually really like this comment, so I'm glad you got this one. Okay, this is 5 stars from CatDog5170. So CatDog5170. Hopefully you're listening. Email us at birdswithfriendspodcast@gmail.com, and I will get you your gift card. CatDog says, Z-Berm joined the show like a stepdad, energetic and eager to gain the listener's approval. We were slow to accept him since we already had an emotionally unavailable father figure, Shield. We seem to have hit the weird phase where the father and stepfather have become close friends, bonding over their many grievances against the wife/ex-wife and her bizarre games. I think that's you, Bo. 10 out of 10 would recommend to a friend. What did the kids say? I see no lies. Is that,
what a perfect distillation of the entire show.
That might be t-shirt worthy, that review. All right. So CatDog5170 again, birdswithfriendspodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email. We will get you your gift card. Marissa, one more number.
Okay, so I actually think my sister is listening to the show today.
Oh,
not really sure if she's still tuning
flex.
in.
Okay.
She probably left already. But if she is still listening, this will be a test. So 16, her birthday is on the 16th.
Okay, 14, 15, 16. All right, this is from Slacker Joe. Slacker Joe, email us, birdswithfriendspodcast@gmail.com. Slacker Joe says, the only good thing about the 2020 Eagles is Birds with Friends. What better way to get over another ugly loss than to listen to 3 of the most insightful, funny, and analytically driven hosts in the business? How many times after watching another Carson Wentz bad throw or a linebacker missing a tackle or another uncreative 3rd down attempt do I think at least I'll get to hear BWF justifiably ripping the organization for the myriad errors? Someone has to hold this team accountable. Keep up the good work. All Eagles fans desperately need you in times like these. Slacker Joe, thank you for the kind words, and send us an email.
Oh, Slacker Joe's in the chat.
Slacker Joe. All right, a real loyal listener, a viewer. Slacker Joe, send us an email. Thank you. All right.
Nice job by Slacker Joe.
I don't know what it says about the length of our podcasts that my AirPods always run out of battery. That's how long we're going.
Yeah, sounds about right. I think what Zach said is right, that there should be some excitement about this game, more so than we could have expected with this Eagles season. There's a little bit of juice. What is Jalen Hurts going to look like? Are they going to do anything interesting on offense, or is it just going to be the exact same scheme where everybody just go run an ISO route, see if you can beat your man, and we won't protect you very well. So I think it's interesting. I don't think it's going to be fantastic from Jalen Hurts. I think one of the things that I didn't mention the other night when we were talking about the history of 2nd round picks, Sheil and Zach, is even there's a difference between all 2nd round picks and Jalen Hurts, because a lot of those successful 2nd round picks were taken at the very top of the 2nd round, whereas Jalen Hurts was picked towards the back of the round. And I think the market is actually pretty efficient in the NFL draft in terms of identifying potential quarterbacks. A lot of those guys bust, but if you last that late, there's probably significant signal there.
I included 2nd and 3rd round picks in the numbers I was citing.
Right. But the guys who actually hit
are
true. Mostly guys
probably
who were
higher
picked at the top of the 2nd round, except for like Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott and Foles, I guess, those 3rd round picks. Anyway, it'll be fun. I think it'll be exciting to watch. I think the hope that you would have if you're an Eagles fan is that the Saints are going to sort of overlook them and have a bit of a down game. But I think the presence of Malcolm Jenkins returning probably makes that less likely. And also Sean Payton, I think, has a thing for the Eagles and probably wants to show that he has the real Taysom Hill, not the fake Taysom Hill.
Delaware County's own.
So I think you'll get a little bit of a special game plan from them. So I take the Saints to cover 23-11.
Also, the Saints do have a lot at stake here in terms of holding on to the number 1 seed in the NFC, which is, of course, the only seed that gets the bye here. So the Packers are right behind them.
Well, there you go.
All right.
I guess that'll do it for this episode of Birds with Friends. For Zach, Marissa, and Sheil, I'm Bo. We will talk to you after the game on Sunday at some point, maybe live on YouTube, maybe not. And pay attention to Sheil's super forecastings, because that will probably determine whether or not he makes an appearance. I mean, that will determine.
No problem about it.
That will determine whether we get a visit from Sheil Uncle. So thanks for listening.
Oh, sorry. All right, last thing. I know
Okay.
Marissa's going to punch me through the screen. But when you said Sheil Uncle, for longtime listeners know the uncle jokes, but I was outside yesterday with the girls, and the mailman drove by. For those who don't know, Indians, we call everyone an uncle or an auntie. And so the mailman drives by, I say hello. And then I say to the girls, is everyone say hello? And Naya goes, oh, hi, mail uncle. I got to go. The guy has no idea. I don't even think
not a listener.
I don't even think. Maybe he is. Maybe later he laughed about it, but I did think that was funny. That random male guy's being called mail uncle by a girl and has no idea what's going on.
That is pretty good. I like that. Down on my work out of Naya. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for listening. And as always,